we're going to talk about one thing and also two things. One thing we're looking at could be the early spring, and number two was about the severe weather threat thing over the plains, and also something else going on with the plains as well after this intro. Extreme weather here, we actually going to see a very good amount of temperature out of the Texas on the Monday, on Sunday, but on Monday we're going to see the storm event going happening because it's going to be very dry air filling these storms as well, but so much about the cave, but we need to also, because there's gonna be much more important part areas as well. Some cave values all the way to around like 1,000, and maybe eventually we're going to get to a major number, but look like around around 13,000 it is gonna be. I'm not 13, you know what I mean, but it's gonna be a good number. How much cave and how much history there is. There's 34, and some areas could get to a lot of it as well, but more other things as well as a shear. There's gonna be a lot of shears, around like 60 joules of shear. And also you can see a very good amount of dew points as well as other things coming up with these thunderstorms. And also there's another things as well. We're going to see much more. Hard to see graph it in the joules when we're going to see the dark purples and other things as well. But with the heating amount out there, there's so much of it as well with the updrafts. With the updrafts, with the history, some areas could get to around like some red areas, like around like 3076. Some areas could get to like 376 joules of it. The vorticity then is moving upwards, and then it's going downward again. But there's other things as well. For the temperature, we're going to see much more ingredients as well, as a sea temperature will going to gain of it as well. So it's going to be around on Monday at 7 a.m. It's just going to be around good 70 degrees to closer to the around that region as well. And other things we're going to see much more of as well as when we're going to get closer to the spring. There's a amount of very cold air to downward and bring back upwards with that good low pressure system above as well. There's very low pressure and also really good high pressure as well. You will see you can see the blues that's indicate of low pressure, and the red you can indicate like a little bit about high pressure system zones as well. Indicate about those zones, we're going to get eventually will be into cooler stage as well, and also eventually be back to the warm phase as well. What I'm meaning is this could be much more warmer, but and also same time very cold air some areas in the plains. But we'll eventually see a very massive cold air on February 13 on the next on Wednesday at like 1 p.m. We're going to see a very good, very cold air, and also will maybe damage some very icy in the trees as well. I will talk about other things as well, because we're going to back to the winter, but it is much more early spring heads towards the United States. But some areas already have the trees already. You can kind of see it. Well, I'm going to talk about the spring. You can kind of see about the trees population around the plains, like in Texas, Louisiana, around like half of Mississippi, and also Alabama, and also Florida. But it's just down the south we're going to see the spring. But you can kind of see it on the time lapse about it, as well as the other things. Well, I'm going to also talk about what your comments will be about each state. Like, I mean, like the Baltimore is going to be much like 5 days early for the spring. That's what it is meaning. But I don't know what your state by the comments below to see what your state with the map, with the program, with a link, each state in your area, how much earlier it's going to get in your area as well. Well, on this time lapse, it show you how much it's going to get earlier. You can kind of see it. It will start on January 18th and then slowly moving upwards. We go to each purple line that indicates strong early spring. That's each state until like March 6th. That's when it will see during our area. In Maryland, we're going to see the spring. We're going to see what is going to affect around the world about each state about the spring. That's what it is going on with the forecast. There's more other parts up with the GPS about the water precipitation. We're going to get much more rain, but you're going to get much more closer to spring. Some areas could get, but so for some areas could get some areas as well for the spring. With the weather and stuff, there's so much we need to know about the spring, and it's how much early it could get with so much with the climate as well. But this is my outro. Extreme weather out here.